Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The early morning sun filtered through lace curtains, casting soft patterns across the mahogany nightstand. It held a single framed photo, a smiling woman in a shimmering dress, flanked by children whose eyes shone with mischief. On reverse, a date was scrawled, November 11, 2011. Maggie Keaton, now 33, let the memory bloom in her mind. 11 years ago, she had sat in that same room, cooing over a newborn bundled in pink blankets. She had thought, with naive certainty, that weddings were forever. But daybreak's gentle light is nothing compared to how grief strikes when understood. Today, the headline across her phone glowed red. Kim Zolciak admits to spending her daughter's money during financial crisis. Maggie stared at it, trying to process the weight, not just of Kim's choice, but what it meant in the quiet of broken families and hidden debts. Kara, her 12-year-old daughter, knocked softly and opened the door. Her eyes were swollen, as if she had been crying, though she painted on a brave smile. "Mom?" she whispered. Maggie gathered her up, feeling the familiar stir of guilt. She'd seen the news last night and avoided reading it at Kara's bedside. But comfort couldn't numb all the worry. "Hey, Pumpkin," she murmured. "You okay?" Kara nodded, wiping her eyes. "I had a bad dream. That you left me, and Dad has no money, and there's nothing safe anymore." Maggie swallowed hard. Since the separation 6 months ago, so different from Kim's situation, she had worked every evening, juggling wait shifts, tutoring, and freelance editing. There were nights when the bills stacked high, and Kara watched worried. She pulled Kara close and whispered, "I'm here. Everything's okay. We'll always have enough." But beneath that reassurance, she trembled. It was just past midday when Maggie saw the second story. Kim Zolciak and Croy Bierman forced to move out by U.S. Marshals after foreclosure. The sensation was a hollow, like seeing a reflection in a broken mirror. She thought about how easily a life of comfort and cameras could collapse. In the blink of foreclosure, the possessions and prestige were gone. She closed her eyes. In the quiet of her modest apartment, the weight of that instability pressed on her chest. Later, fidgeting with both mugs of herbal tea, Maggie's best friend, Jenna, joined her on the threadbare couch. Jenna, steady, warm, a seasoned optimist, knew exhaustion on a cellular level. "Still reading about that Kim mess?" Janet asked, gesturing at the scattered headlines. Maggie nodded, tears forming. "It's just so sad. A mother, children, money she shouldn't touch." Jenna nodded gently. "It's a symptom, not a crime. When you're backed into a corner, people do what they must to survive. That doesn't excuse it, but it explains it." They sat in silence a while. "Maggie," Jenna continued softly, "do you want to tell Kara that sometimes we borrow, not from banks, but from hope? That even when things feel empty, we keep going?" Maggie paused. She had promised her daughter stability. But maybe stability wasn't about money. It was about love that didn't waver. "I think so," she whispered. That afternoon, she took Kara to the park. Wind teased their hair as they flew the kite Kara had begged for at the fair. The sky was gray, but the kite soared high, bright against steel clouds. Kara laughed, eyes sparkling, and for a moment, Maggie felt peace. That evening, after tucking her in, Maggie sat at the kitchen table, flipping open her laptop. She typed a message. "Hey, sweetie, just wanted to share something today. I read about someone who struggled a lot, used money that wasn't hers to pay the bills. They said they wanted to make it right and pay it back later. It broke my heart, and I thought of how even grown-ups fall apart sometimes. But I want you to know how proud I am of you. We may not have a huge house or cameras, but you teach me strength every day. Always." She paused. Would Kara understand? She pressed send and watched her daughter's face. Kara looked up, her expression transitioning from sleepy haze to clarity. "I love it, Mom." Maggie let out a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. Days passed. News continued to churn, reports detailing Kim's divorce status, Her new home, renewed dating life, cosmetic disclosures. But Maggie held onto what she'd shared, a fragile honesty anchored in mother love. One Sunday, Karen marched in with a folded peace offering, 2 cups of cocoa, strewn with marshmallows that had melted into tiny clouds. "I thought we might thaw the heavy clouds a bit," Kara said, nudging a mug forward. Maggie's throat wobbled. She accepted the gift. "Thank you, love. You're doing that, more than you know." And then, just like that, they sat, with cocoa warmth, marshmallow sweetness, and the quiet resolve that even when money fails us, love doesn't have to. Reflection. In this imagined, modern tale, Maggie and Kara reflect the quietly powerful truth in the midst of very sad celebrity headlines that financial hardship might strain relationships, even fracture them. Yet as parents, what we owe our children runs deeper than dollars or assets. It's the promise we carry, even when we're tired. Kim Zolciak's public story, spending her daughter's money, foreclosure, emotional fallout, echoes in countless unsung homes where ordinary people shoulder fear and rebuild, piece by piece. Her life, splashed across tabloids, stands as a reminder. Celebrity or not, grief finds us all. And redemption begins when we meet sorrow with humility and take the hard path toward repair. The world of reality television has always thrived on larger-than-life personalities, lavish lifestyles, and the drama that unfolds when those worlds collide. For years, Kim Zolciak was a centerpiece of that glamorous stage. The Real Housewives of Atlanta star was instantly recognizable. The platinum blonde hair, the sharp one-liners, the couture fashion, and a seemingly unshakable confidence. But this week, the headlines took a sharp, heartbreaking turn. The words were stark and sobering. Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann forced out of their Atlanta mansion by U.S. Marshals after foreclosure. Kim admits she spent her daughter's savings. "I had nothing." For fans who had followed Kim's journey from her early Housewives days to her spin-off series Don't Be Tardy, the news landed like a gut punch. It wasn't just another piece of celebrity gossip. It was a human story about love, money, mistakes, and the painful cost of losing it all. From Bravo's darling to public scrutiny, Kim first appeared on The Real Housewives of Atlanta in 2008. She quickly became one of the franchise's most talked-about stars, with her fiery personality and bold decisions both on and off the screen. Viewers watched her whirlwind romance with former NFL player Kroy Biermann unfold, their lavish wedding televised for millions to see. The couple seemed unstoppable. They welcomed children, built a sprawling Atlanta estate, and crafted an image of a family living a dream. Kim often spoke about her love for luxury, designer handbags, luxury cars, sparkling jewelry, and the cameras loved every bit of it. But behind the glitz, financial trouble had been quietly brewing. The financial collapse. According to reports, the trouble started several years ago. Kroy's NFL career came to an end, and without the massive sports paychecks, the couple's lifestyle became harder to sustain. Reality TV brought in income, but not enough to match the millions they had been used to spending. Creditors began to circle. Lawsuits over unpaid credit cards and loans appeared in court records. And in 2024, the first serious warnings about foreclosure emerged. Still, Kim projected confidence to the public. On Instagram and in interviews, she would insist things were fine. She even hinted that rumors about financial struggles were exaggerated or false. Fans wanted to believe her. The breaking point. The truth could no longer be hidden. In early August 2025, news broke that Kim and Kroy had officially lost their Atlanta mansion to foreclosure. It wasn't just a legal notice. It was a scene straight out of a movie. U.S. Marshals arrived to enforce the court order, and the family was forced to vacate. For a home once filled with parties, laughter, and the hum of reality TV cameras, the silence left behind was deafening. A painful admission. As if losing her home weren't enough, Kim made a startling revelation during an appearance on Watch What Happens Live. She admitted that during the height of their financial crisis, She dipped into the savings of her two eldest daughters, Ariana and Brielle. I had nothing, Kim confessed. Bills had to be paid. I told them it was a loan, and I still planned to pay it back. The honesty was raw, but it drew mixed reactions. Some sympathized, pointing out that many parents, when desperate, would do anything to keep their family afloat. Others criticized her, saying it was unfair to take from her daughter's hard-earned money. For Kim, the admission seemed both a release and a reckoning. It was no longer possible to pretend everything was perfect.